Well, a graduation ceremony is usually like a celebration. It is the day students wait for after years of assignment, maybe exams, deadlines, sleepless nights. Families travel long distances to watch their children receive the degrees. Camera flash, speeches, and graduates prepare to step into the next chapter of their lives. But at Stanford University, one of America's most prestigious institutions, this year's ceremony, it took a very different turn. The chief guest was Google CEO Mr. Sundar Pichai, one of the most successful technology leaders in the world, and a role model for millions of students, specifically Indians. Well, as he began speaking, hundreds of students reportedly stood up and walked out. Their message loud and clear. They chanted slogans in support of Palestine and protested Google's aligned involvement in the projects that were linked to Israel. Within minutes, what was supposed to be a graduation speech, it became a political statement. Well, the whole protest quickly spread far beyond the campus. Social media exploded with reactions. Some praised the students for exercising their rights to protest and holding very powerful institutions accountable. But others, they criticized them for disrupting a graduation ceremony and disrespecting a guest who had come to inspire the graduating class. Well, the whole debate, it became even bigger when a very prominent Indian-American investor, Vinod Khosla, and the US Congressman, Ro Khanna, they publicly disagreed over the incident. One side argued that innovation and technology have transformed billions of lives and deserve some kind of recognition. The others argued that students have every right to question corporations and challenge authorities. This whole incident reflects a much bigger trend here. Universities across America are increasingly becoming battlegrounds for political debates. In fact, issues that once belonged to the politicians, they are now being discussed by students, by professors and activists. From war overseas to artificial intelligence, from climate change to corporate responsibility, it's the campuses that are becoming the arsenal here, where young people, they are demanding answers. The Stanford protest, it was not just about Sundar Pichai. It was about the growing willingness of students to challenge powerful institutions, even on one of the biggest days of their lives. Now, for most of the people, losing a job, it is stressful. It brings uncertainty, it brings financial pressure, difficult decision. But for thousands of foreign workers in America, losing a job, it can mean something much bigger. It can put their entire future in the country at risk. Well, a recent case involving a former Meta employee has drawn a lot of attention to this reality. Reports suggest that a worker who lost their job during Meta's latest round of layoffs, he was later detained by immigration authorities. This news, it spread through internal employee discussions, creating a lot of concern among the colleagues who feared that losing employment had triggered a much larger immigration crisis. Now, to understand why this matters, it is very important to understand how America's immigration system really works for the skilled workers here. Well, thousands of workers, professionals, they live and work in the US on employer-sponsored visa. The legal right to remain in the country, it is often directly connected to their jobs. Now here, if employment ends, the clock starts ticking. Workers may have only a limited period of time to find another job, secure a different visa, or leave the country. Now imagine facing that situation during a period of mass layoff. Well, technology companies have spent the last 2 years reducing their workforce. In fact, thousands of highly skilled professionals, they have suddenly found themselves searching for jobs in an increasingly competitive market. Well, here for thousands of foreign workers, the pressure is even greater because every passing day can affect their immigration status. Well, the reported Meta case, it has sparked renewed conversation about the vulnerabilities that are faced by international employees here. These are the professionals who contribute to some of the world's biggest companies. Yet, many remain dependent on immigration system that can change their lives, and that too overnight. Now, for them, a layoff is not simply a career setback. It can become an immigration emergency.